Hello guys, and welcome back to another class of our course about the complete introduction to Photoshop. So in today's class we are still going to talk about object modifications and some other tools that you guys can use to be able to crop your pictures and select a few parts of the picture. So what we are going to talk about today is, once again, it's gonna be part of the magnetic lasso tool, and also in right here in the magic wand. So basically we're going to talk about the quick selection wand and as well as the magnetic lasso tool. So basically we talked about the lasso tool and the polygonal lasso tool in the past classes. Today we're going to talk about the magnetic one and the quick selection tool. So let's start. So basically for the purpose of this course, what you are going to need will be one picture, and we are going to simply crop this picture. So we're going to work with this picture right here, which is my favorite one. What I will do, I will simply duplicate this picture at first. All right, so right now, let's say I want to crop, I don't know, I like this picture, but I only want to keep the mountains of the picture. So basically, I want to delete the skies and I want to change the background of the skies. So how can I do it? So basically, I can, for example, try to use the magic wand right here. And if I try to do it, as you can see, it's gonna be a little bit complicated, and because there is a lot of stars, it's not that easy to use. If you guys try to use the tool right here, which we have right there, which would be the rectangle, the rectangle selection or the square selection, yes, you guys will be able to select, in this case, the mountains, but there is one little problem. You will still have some skies inside of your picture. So as you can see, we have skies right here. So that's not what we want. We simply want to select all the mountains without necessarily having the skies. So what tool are we going to use exactly? So pretty simple. This is why we have right here, over there, so the magnetic lasso tool. So basically what exactly this tool do? So it works pretty much as the lasso tool. So when we are working with the lasso tool, what we'll do, we'll simply select the mountains like this. But the problem with this tool is that it's not perfect, and that it doesn't necessarily bring the results that we want. So with the magnetic lasso tool, how it works, it will automatically, it works with colors, and it will automatically connect to the color that we are looking for. So in this case, we want to work with the white color, and this is exactly what it will do. So let's try it out. First of all, let's just put the picture to its real format. So, okay, we got it. All right, good. All right, so let's come back to our magnetic lasso tool. So what we'll do at first, we'll simply zoom in on the picture, and we are going to work with the lasso tool. So basically what you can see, what it does, it will add points to the mountain part. So basically there is a lot of points that are added to the mountain part, and let's say that I'm not satisfied of one of the points, or I made a mistake and I did something like this, I can just click on the delete and it will automatically come back to the previous point. So as you can see right here, it made some mistakes. So I can create manually the points, or if I don't create the points, they will be automatically generated. So I don't necessarily need to create all the points. So here we go. As you can see, it's pretty simple. Once again, right now I'm doing it pretty fast because I'm doing it for the purpose of this course and just for you guys to understand. So it's not gonna be that perfect. But if you guys want it to be perfect, what I'll suggest you to do is simply zoom in in your picture, and you'll see it's gonna be pretty awesome. So the results will be way better than mine, where I'm not zooming in necessarily. And finally, when I'm done, I can simply crop everything right here. All right, so right now I basically have my mountain. What I can do is simply Control C, Control V. So if I delete the picture, as you can see, I still have my mountains. And what I can do right now, I can, for example, add something in the background, simply change the background or add something in the background. I can have whatever I want in the background. For example, let's say I want to have my Iron Man in the background. I can have it. Let's say I want to have my Iron Man behind the mountains. Well, I can have it behind the mountains. and add my other picture right here. So as you can see, I have my Iron Man, I have my mountains, and I have an effect where the Iron Man is somewhere behind the mountains. So it's pretty cool. Let me just make it better. As you can see, I have an effect of the Iron Man that is behind the mountains. Once again, it's pretty nice. I can do the same thing with my Batmans. So I have my Batmans right here. Simply drag them up there so you'll be able to see them. Here we go. So same thing for the Batman. I can put it somewhere right here, which is pretty cool. So I have my Batman behind my Iron Man or next to my Iron Man. So pretty cool what I can do with this, and it adds a little effect to the picture. All right. Next thing. So right now we talked about the first way that you guys can, well, what you can do. Right now we are going to talk about the second tool that I wanted to talk about. It's the quick selection tool, and basically works pretty much as the magic wand tool, but the only difference with the quick selection tool is that it's like the magic wand tool, but more manual. Let me show you an example and you'll understand. So let's say we have our Iron Man right here. So we have this picture with a white background. So if I add this, you can see that it's on a white background. And I want to select the Iron Man. So basically it's a white background, so it's gonna be pretty simple. I can simply use my magic wand tool right here, click once, and it will automatically select it. But let's say there is a complicated background. I can simply select the Iron Man using the quick selection tool. So let me just show you how it works. So pretty simple. What I will do, I will simply go on my quick selection tool. Here I can decide of the size of my my selection. So the radius will be right here. So I can decide if I want to have a big radius or a small radius. Here we go. All right. So just selecting the Iron Man. Good. So right now what we will do, I will select a small radius for the purpose of this example. So we'll go with 25 pixels. And we are going to select the Iron Man. So right here, we're gonna select our Iron Man. We have a little problem because it's working on another layer. So just deleting all the other layers. Here we go. So we have all our pictures. Great. All right, let's come back with our Iron Man. All right, so we have our Iron Man right here. So first step, what we want to do is simply select the quick selection tool. And what we'll do right now, we'll simply select the Iron Man. So if we click on Shift, what's going to happen? It will add more selection. If we click on ELT, what it will do, it will select less. So let's try it out. So as you can see, it selects a part of our Iron Man. So I'm still clicking on Shift. And as you can see, it will select small parts of it until it selects the whole Iron Man. So basically I can work with a little part of the picture and it will automatically select all the colors that are associated with this part of the picture. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. I selected the whole Iron Man. So right now I can copy my picture and paste it somewhere else. And as you can see, I have my Iron Man right here. So here it is. That's the Iron Man that we have just created. And it's pretty much like the new one, which is pretty cool. So as you can see, it's pretty nice what we have just created right here. So you can do this with well, we can do the same thing with the Batman. I'm not gonna do it necessarily because it's gonna take a lot of time. But well, once again, I can do the exact same thing with the Batman. So I can play with it and select the whole Batman. And even if the background is a little bit more complicated, I can use this tool to be able to work with it. So right now, you know the majority of tools that you guys can use to be able to crop a picture and take a part of a certain picture and bring it to another pic. So that's it for this class, guys, and see you all in our next class. Hello guys, and welcome back to another class of our course about the complete introduction to Photoshop. So in the past few classes, we talked about different selection tools that you guys can use in order to be able to work with different pictures and make picture modifications. So what I propose you guys to do today is really to put everything into application and create a little project that you guys would be able to use. So just import one picture from the internet and one background picture. So in my case, for example, this would be my background picture. So I imported two background pictures. I imported a city background and I imported this background right here. And the picture that I want to put inside of my background would be a Thor picture. So I have it, well, a Hulk picture, sorry. So I have it just there. Little mistake. Here we go. So here I have the picture that I want to work with. So basically what we'll do inside of this class, pretty simple. We are going to crop this picture and try to crop it the best way possible. So you'll see it's not always simple. And what we will simply use the tools that we talked about in the past few classes. So we'll not use any other tools, so just the tools that we talked about. And you'll see we can have pretty good results just with this. So first thing, I'll ask you guys to simply duplicate this picture at first. So in the case that you guys make mistakes, you will be able to come back and work with it. All right, so when we're working with this type of picture, as you can see, the background is a little bit complicated. So we have a lot of colors. It's not, well, it's not gonna be easy to crop it. So how exactly do we start working on this type of picture? So for me personally, what I do is I really select the part where we have Thor. So for this, you can, for example, use the lasso tool or this tool right here, which is the square tool or ellipse tool. So pretty simple. I just select the whole Hulk that we have right here. And here we go. So basically this is the part of the picture that I want to work with. Then I can simply copy it and paste it. From now on, it goes from a smart object to a layer. So I can do whatever I want from this part right here. Next thing, what I want to do is simply check out if it's gonna be simple or complicated. So maybe all the colors will be detected and I would not have to work too much, but it's pretty much impossible. So as you can see, it's going to be pretty complicated to work with this picture. All right, so what exactly can I do to work with this picture? So here you have plenty of choices to be able to crop this picture, and we are going to use all the tools that we have. So with what can we start? So basically, what can we do at first? It's simply select a more closer part to the Hulk. So how exactly we'll do this? So in this case, we are going to use the lasso tool. So we'll just deselect everything. Even better, we can use the magnetic lasso tool, but we'll use it after because I want to use the maximum of tools possible. So right now we'll use the lasso tool. So we'll try to make the whole, so everything around the Hulk even closer than we did in the past class. All right. So here we have our Hulk. Amazing. Very important to select the inverse. All right, so right now we cropped even closer to the Hulk. Next thing that we can do, pretty simple. So right now we can use the magnetic lasso tool. So we can use either the magnetic lasso tool, either work with some other tools right here. For example, the quick selection tool. But once again, I want to try to use the maximum of tools possible to be able to crop this picture. And I know that I will have some problems in some places in particular. So if, for example, well, the places where I will have a problem are pretty simple and pretty obvious. So right here, since I have a little hole that I have to leave, right here with the hairs. Once again, I'm not gonna play with the colors and try to make them perfectly green and everything. That will be in another class, but just for the cropping part and the selection part. So basically the problems are in two places. So right here, as well as the hairs, it's gonna be a little bit complicated. So once again, this picture is not that complicated because the hairs are all in one place. I don't have like hairs everywhere. And so there is not that much details, but once again, we'll try to make it the best possible. All right, next step. So right now what we have this part of the Hulk. So we'll try to use the magic wand. So can we have something that makes sense? All right, so what we can do, we can use the magic wand tool and basically simply select some parts and delete them slowly. So as you can see, we'll try to keep all the details. So here we go. Once again, you can play with the tolerance. You don't want it to be too high. You don't want it to be too low as well. So when you're too close of the Hulk, for example, you can lower it simply to delete the right things. And once you get a little bit, once you get far from it, it's not a big deal. Well, you can make it higher. So here is the place where we have more details. Here we go. So as you can see, we have the hairs that have stayed. You can delete this part right here. Just see what it looks like. All right. So once again, it's not perfect, but it's just for the purpose of the course, so you guys understand that when there is a lot of details, it's not really easy to work with. So you'll see there will be a lot of other details that will be left, but once again, it's not a big deal. All right, so we pretty much finished the part of the face, so there is pretty much nothing left. So yes, we have some little things right here, for example, as you can see on the hairs. Once again, this is a dangerous place. You don't want to crop a part of the hairs of the Hulk. You just want to crop some parts. All right, here we go. So for now on, this is what the face will look like. Then we can continue right here. All right, so from this moment, you have two choices. You can continue with this tool right here, or we can switch to another tool, which would be the quick selection tool. So basically, in my opinion, both of them are pretty useful. So in this case, this one works pretty well as well. Once again, if it's small, it's for more places where there is a lot of details. And then you can make it a little bit larger for places like this one. Once again, you need to be really careful. You don't want it to be too big. You don't want it to be too small as well. So as you can see, it's gonna crop a part of its t-shirt, and we don't want this. So what we can use in this case, pretty simple. We can use the magnetic lasso tool. So here we wanted to just crop a certain part of the t-shirt. We don't want it to crop the whole t-shirt. Here we go. All right. So as you can see, everything that we use can be really, really useful. So right now we have cropped the t-shirt. We can continue. Here we go. So once again, as I said, it's not going to be 100% perfect, but my goal here is just to teach you the basics of how this could work. All right, so as you can see right here, we have a problem. It's going to cut a part of the arm. So what we'll do the exact same thing. We will use the magnetic lasso tool to cut around the arm and come back right there. So once again, I'm going pretty quickly just to show you the example. All right, so we're almost done. So as you can see, we have a few problems right here. For example, we have a few things that are left. So we can use the magic wand tool to cut it out. So here it doesn't work. All right, so as we can see right now, the only problem that is left is right here. For this little line that you guys can see right there, what we can use is simply the lasso tool. So we'll talk about it a little bit later when we will be at this part. So we can continue with our selections. So as you can see, when we try to use the magic wand tool, it's not perfect. So it's not really worth it to use it. So at this moment, what we can use the magnetic lasso tool. So we'll deselect everything. So we'll try to use it right here. So usually when you're using it in places that are that small, it's pretty important to zoom in. I didn't zoom in. That's a little mistake that I've made. All right, finally, here we can crop a little opening. So this is exactly what we'll do. Here we go. All right. So until now, we have pretty much everything that we need. Last thing for the details, we can delete the little line that is right here. So for those of you who don't see it, here, as you can see, there is a little line that is left. So we can delete this little line. So how exactly we can delete it? So once again, we don't need that much of not attention, but we don't need that much detail. So we can use the simple lasso tool and just select the line and work around it. So here we go, and we can just delete it. So yes, as you can see, there are some other small details and some other stuff, but once again, I don't want the picture to be too perfect. It's just for the purpose of the example, because if I wanted it to be 100% perfect, I would have to spend a few hours working on it. Well, at least 1 hour. Here we go. All right. As you can see, the picture starts to make sense right now. We have deleted pretty much all the obvious details. So yes, there is a lot of work to do. Well, there is more work that can be done on this picture. So for example, we can modify, well, make the arm a little bit more greener. We can repair the hairs. So as you can see, the hairs are not really perfect. So there is a few things that we can work on this picture to make it a little bit better. Once again, our goal is just to learn how all the tools work. All right, so in my opinion right now, the picture looks pretty good. So what we want to do right now, we want to integrate this picture in one of our backgrounds. So here will be our first background. So if we try to integrate this picture inside of this background, as you can see, we will see all the imperfections. So it's not a good idea to integrate this picture in this background. Because as I said, all the imperfections will be seen, and we'll have to work with the luminosity of the picture. We'll have to work with, well, a lot of things. So it could be possible, but it's gonna take a little bit more time, because we'll need to delete, for example, all the white right here and make it more darker. The skin of the Hulk will also need to be more darker because it's nighttime. We can add, for example, some luminosity right here, so his cell phone will be more luminous. Right here we'll need to correct the picture, so there is a lot of work. But if instead we use this background right here, suddenly we don't see all the imperfections as we saw it a little bit before. So there is way less imperfections, because once again, it's a sunny day, so it's pretty normal. It goes with all the lightning right here. So it's way better to work with this picture with this background. So this is exactly what we'll do. So from this moment, we can simply move the Hulk somewhere right here. So here we have our Hulk right there in this background. And what we can do, we can even make it a little bit smaller, just to be sure that it's great. So here we have our Hulk walking on the beach, which is pretty cool. So with this Hulk, we can, for example, add an Iron Man somewhere right here, right there. So we have our Iron Man somewhere, I don't know, where is it? Here it is. So we can add our Iron Man right there. We'll make it a little bit smaller. So here we go, we have our Iron Man right there, we have our Hulk right here. Everything is pretty cool. Great. So as you can see, we have a little picture that works pretty fine. We can even add, I don't know, a fire blast, for example, or whatever. So as you can see, pretty simple. The background defines also everything. So in the case of our Hulk, it would have worked on the other background, but we would need to add a lot of work to the Hulk itself. In this case, well, with this background that is more sunny, more, let's say, more beach day, Since we took the Hulk from a picture that is not from nighttime, it's pretty simple to add it right here. And for the Iron Man, it was a white screen. Well, it was a white background, so we can put it anywhere we want. So pretty cool. So right now you understand how to perfectly crop pictures, and you have pretty good knowledge of the 3 tools right here. We even practiced them all. So that's it for us, guys, and see you all in our next class.